Okay, now we are moving on. We're moving to the light phase and dark phases of photosynthesis. Right. Now I have this microphone here. I have this mic. I hope I'm going to be audible. Right? Right, let's roll on. One overview, photosynthesis has two phases. So there is the light phase and the dark phase, right? So on the light phase, we have this kind of table that we made here to just look at the whole thing, how the light phase and the dark phase differ, right? Okay, but before we can look at this, let's just try to look at your textbook. The textbook says that photosynthesis takes place in two phases: the light phase, which is the light dependent phase, right? That is the light phase, and the dark phase, which is the light independent, right? Then it further says that the light phase occurs in the thylakoid membranes of the chloroplast. Light energy gives us light energy is the energy carried by electrons. Then the energy in the electrons is used to make ATP, which is the energy carrying compound, right? And the oxygen is the byproduct. Then the dark phase, sometimes it is called the Calvin cycle, right? It occurs in the stomata of the chloroplast, right? Controlled by enzymes, therefore affected by the temperature, because enzymes, when the temperature is too high, then they become, right, they are affected. Actually, they're sensitive to temperature, low or high temperature, so they need a specific suitable temperature to work. Carbon dioxide is first incorporated into RUBP, which is ribulose biphosphate. Then hydrogen and electrons from NADPH are added to form GP3 or PGL, which is carbohydrates, and that PGAL is used to make glucose and other carbohydrates for the plant. So this is what your textbook says, but Tina, we are going to just summarize it here. So the light phase is known as the light phase is known as the Hill reaction. Then the dark phase is known as the Calvin cycle. The light phase, where is it found? It is found in the thylakoid membrane. That's the location, right? And the light requirement, that is the light dependent, right? This light dependent. Then the dark phase, where is it located? Stroma or chloroplast. Eh? Stroma of chloroplast. Okay, let me just adjust the brightness as I can see. Okay, where is it located? In the stroma of the chloroplast. That is the location. Light requirements, it is light independent. Why are we saying it is light independent? Because that is the dark phase, basically. Doesn't need light. Right. So let's break it down. Light phase, field reaction. Okay, let's roll on to the light phase. Right. We are getting to deeper details. The light phase, which is the Hill reaction. Hill reaction. Woo, okay, sharp. The location is the thylakoid membranes, right? Check the requirements. It needs the light, right? It needs water and chlorophyll, right? The process, the light energy excites electrons, right? Because remember, on that first part, I was reading on the textbook. Then he said the light energy, that is the energy carried by electrons. Remember, I said that. Yeah. So the twin step in the process, electrons help produce ATP and NADPH, right? Then step 3, oxygen is released as a byproduct. Okay, so let's recap the process. 1, light energy excites electrons. 2, electrons help produce ATP and NADPH. 3, oxygen is released as a byproduct, right? So the key terms to know here is the photolysis, right? What is photolysis? By the way, I saw this in one of the exams. It was part of the MCQ. I can't remember. It was MCQ or give the correct term, something like that. But it is currently tested in the exams, past exams. If you look at the past exams, you'll find it. Photolysis, yeah, splitting of water into hydrogen and oxygen by light. So that light split that water into hydrogen and oxygen. Oh, then that water is split into hydrogen that side, oxygen that side. Yeah, that's photolysis for you. Photophosphorylation, right? That is the ATP production using light energy, right? That is the photophosphorylation. Photophosphorylation is the ATP production using light energy. Exam tip: the splitting of water by light is called photolysis. Don't forget this term. If I find that you forget this term, I will find you. Kadlala, I'm not into marking, so I'm not a teacher. So this is just the online thing. So I don't go to marking, but if they call me and they say, "Oh, George, we saw you online. Come and help us with the marking process here." Then if I find you, if I find that you said something else, or you left the page blank on this question, then I'll just tell them to just give me the names of the people who didn't write the correct term. Then I will find them and I will talk to them. Why didn't you write that term? Because I was discussing this term in my lessons. Okay, 3, that's going to be the dark phase, which is the Calvin cycle. Oh, this things have nice names, man. After making your videos, I'm going to my grade 12, so I'm sure they're wondering why am I not making the videos for grade 12. But I'm coming, so I'm still warming up. The dark phase, the Calvin cycle, right? What if the examiner says the Calvin cycle? Then you'll be like, oh, who's Calvin? At that time, the question is for 1 mark or 2 marks. Then you don't know the Calvin cycle. They just switched the tense. But I don't think the examiner can be that brutal. Maybe they can just say the dark phase, then in the bracket say the Calvin cycle, or maybe they can say the Calvin cycle, then in brackets say that phase, so that you can remember. But who knows? Maybe during mid-year examinations or tests, yeah, they can do that. But in the final, I think final exams they try to accommodate everybody, but unless they decide to raise the standards. So the location of this is stroma. Okay, is it stroma? Stroma, yeah, stroma, yeah, stroma. Characteristics: enzyme controlled. Enzyme controlled. Remember we talked about the enzyme. We said it is controlled by the enzymes, right? Enzymes. Therefore, it is affected by the temperature. We did talk about this. And we said that it is light independent, right? Right. It occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. Hence, we said the location is stroma. Okay. The process. How is the process? Carbon dioxide combines with RuBp, right? The two hydrogen and electrons form the NADPH. Added. Step 3 forms the GP3 or GPAL, which is carbohydrates. Step 4 Step 4 PGAL, used to make glucose and other carbohydrates. Right, so recap of those processes. Step 1, carbon dioxide, which is CO2, combines with RuBp. Then step 2, step 3, step 4. The requirement that's carbon dioxide, which is CO2, ATP, NADPH, from the light phase. Okay, which means already that NADPH comes from the light phase, and we said NADPH from the light phase. That's interesting. This part is when I start to get hungry because they talk about food, they talk about onions, carrots, potato, if you slice onions, then you also slice tomatoes, then you make a stew, tomato and onion stew, and you add a soup there, right? Curry powder and all of those things. Then and you make you make rice there, right? Ish, that's sweet stuff. Okay, let's get into content. Food storage and the rate of photosynthesis. Okay, now let's look at this part. Food storage in plants. Yes, we like to eat. Yes, we like food, but what is the food storage in plants? Where is this food stored? Yeah. So basically, food storage. Let's do like this. Okay. The plants store excess energy because we know. Okay, the plants they they absorb nutrients. So the plants store excess energy, nutrients, or water in storage organs for future growth. Because let's say, well, okay, that's summer, it is the rainy season, and there is nutrients in the soil, so the plant is able to grow well because there is nutrients, the mineral can dissolve better, then the uptake is too much. So the plant end up storing excess energy, nutrients, and water in storage organs, right? In order to use those 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 excess energy, nutrients, and water in the future, right? It's like in commerce, they will say, if I'm earning 10,000, then I'm saving a portion of my income for the next 10 years or for the next 5 years, right? So if I'm earning 10,000, then I'm spending 7,000, then the 3,000 is for savings. Then I'm saving it, then I'm putting it into my savings account, then it accumulates, and I will be able to use it for future then I will use it in the future to buy something, because also there is inflation and this. But for commerce, you don't need to stress about commerce because you're in science. Maybe grade 12, because we will be dealing with the business side of agriculture. Then that's where we will think about business and commerce and finance. Yeah, but basically that's how it is. It's like we have too much now, then we have to save for the future. So it stores energy, nutrients, water for future growth. Insoluble products take less space, right? So those products that are insoluble, they take less. Sorry, they take less space. Um, Products stored as starch during the day, right? So we have the storage organs, and these organs are leaves, stems, tubers, or roots, or tubers or bulbs, right? So an example of the roots or tubers or bulbs, this can be carrots, potatoes, sugar cane. Huh? Sugar cane. Let me see. I'm not sure about sugar cane, but let's just go with the carrots and potato, because they come from the underground, right? So stems, we have potato and sugar cane. So for this one, for stems we have potato and sugar cane. That's correct. The leaves we have onion, lettuce, right? Okay, then we have the seeds. The seeds are pears, maize, right? Fruits, we have tomatoes, we have pecan nuts. What is pecan nuts? Hmm. Let me try and find the picture of the pecan nuts, because you really have to know what is pecan nuts. Let me look for the picture. Guys, apparently this is the pecan nuts. Yeah, that's what we were looking for. Is this? Yeah, is this? I don't know. Are they used for cereals, or are they? I don't know them, because I never seen something like this before. But yeah, that's how they look. Alright, let's move on. Can nuts look like we don't have problems, right? We're still cool. Yeah, then the best part of the whole thing, because I know examiner is my friend. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Yeah, exam tip. The question will come like, name two organs where photosynthesis products are stored. Okay, so if this question comes out to be like, name two organs where photosynthesis products are stored, then you'll say leaves, stems, right? Because they said two. If you give three, they're gonna mark two, then they will leave one. But if they say name three organs where photosynthesis products are stored, then you can say what you can say stems, leaves, and roots, right? Yeah. Two, the rate of photosynthesis. Okay, what is the rate of photosynthesis? It is the rate of oxygen production per unit of mass or area of green plant tissues, or per unit weight of total chlorophyll. Okay, the rate of oxygen production per unit of mass or chlorophyll concentration. We have factors affecting photosynthesis rate. And these factors that are affecting photosynthesis rate, that's when a farmer, a farmer is making a loss. Okay, they invest in equipment. They have this equipment. They have tractors. They can buy seed. They have fertilizers. They have um, irrigation systems. Irrigation systems is like a hose pipe that connects the water from a tank. Then it can sprinkle the water to the plants. Yeah. So yeah, they have everything that they need, but they don't understand the factors affecting the photosynthesis rate. And if you don't understand this part, you're going to make a loss. Whether you have money or you don't have money, if you don't, you're going to make a loss because temperature will affect the rate of photosynthesis. And if the rate of photosynthesis is not performing well, or um, is not above a certain limit or a certain, yeah, then the things are not going to grow well because photosynthesis will will be affected, right? Light affect it. What else? We have carbon dioxide that affects it. Water also affect the rate of photosynthesis, right? So let's start with temperature. Temperature, that's the directly proportional rate of photosynthesis. Okay, sorry. Temperature rate. Temperature increases rate to an optimum level, then declines due to enzyme denaturation, right? So basically temperature rate will increase, right? Temperature will increase, then there will be a certain level where it start to level up. It, it no longer um, increase that much, right? So it increases the rate to an optimum. Then after that, it will decline, right? Why is it declining? It will decline because of enzyme denaturation. Okay. What I'm trying to say here is that photosynthesis reaches a maximum rate, which varies with different plant species, right? So the optimum temperature that I'm talking about, that is the temperature at which growth is the fastest, right? Then lower lethal temperature, that's the temperature below which cells are killed, right? So farmers should choose plants according to the area. That, that's why if you look at the farmers, they don't just plant their plants or their crops everywhere. They look at the area, choose a suitable place where to do your farming business. So farmers should choose plants according to area, according to season. That's why we have seasons that we use for planting. There are seasons where we use for harvesting. There are seasons where we just chill, you know. So there is summer, winter, autumn, spring, right? Those seasons they do affect how we grow our crops. Okay, so farmers should choose plants according to area, season, and time, right? So if we look at a graph, we will see where there is the minimum growth temperature where the growth rate is low. Then there is optimum growth temperature where the rate of photosynthesis is high, or it is at it is at its peak. Then we have the maximum growth temperature. That's when the rate of photosynthesis starts to decline. Why? Because the enzymes are becoming denatured, right? Because they're sensitive to temperature. Light, that is the rate increases with light intensity to an optimum. Rate increases with light intensity to an optimum. So the light is also directly proportional to the rate of photosynthesis until optimum light intensity is reached, right? Remember that also temperature is directly proportional to the rate of photosynthesis and respiration, right? But now we are talking about the light, right? So plant species differ in their optimum intensities. Few crop plants grow well in shade. Some, of course, we know some crops they like shade. They don't like sunlight. So if you put them where there's no sunlight, then they will grow well. But some they need sunlight to grow well, right? So you need to take that into consideration. Exception. Okay, we said few crop plants grow well in shade. Exception, sweet potatoes, right? Carbon dioxide, that's the rate. Rate increases with availability. Availability of what? Carbon dioxide is directly proportional to the rate of photosynthesis. Light and water must also be available. So because carbon dioxide is directly proportional to the rate of photosynthesis, but we must make sure that light and water is available, right? So that this carbon dioxide can work very well. Then we have water. Water is required for photosynthesis and transpiration. We know that when there is shortage of water, it will cause the plant growth to slow down or to stop, because the water is needed for transpiration, right, and also is needed for photosynthesis. So if there is shortage of water in the plant, right, so this will cause growth to slow down or to stop. Hence we say that water is essential for photosynthesis and transpiration, because if there is shortage, it will slow down the growth. Water is essential, mineral water is important for photosynthesis and transpiration, right? 4. Methods to increase photosynthesis, right? That is the methods to do what? To manipulate. So a question can say method to increase photosynthesis rate or methods to manipulate photosynthesis rate. So we should list those factors, right? We have temperature, nutrients, light, carbon dioxide concentration, and water, right? Temperature. How can we manipulate? Okay, so let's say a farmer from Free State, because I heard that Free State is known for the best agricultural activities. So let's say a farmer from Free State, a new farmer, he's a rich farmer, he doesn't know much about farming, but he wants to make money. He wants to increase production, and so that he can go to the market, but he knows commerce. He can market the product to, or the produce to the customers at the market, and the customers can buy those produce. Right. Let's say the farmer calls you, then say, okay, come and help me to increase the photosynthesis rate, because I heard that in science you can manipulate the rate of photosynthesis to increase it, right? So you need to tell that farmer, okay, farmer, you need temperature, you need nutrients, you need light, you need carbon dioxide concentration, you need water, okay? And that farmer will be like, okay, tell me how those things can work. Then uh, I will give you 1,000, 1K. Okay, so temperature, you need, you need, you need to tell that farmer, okay, temperature um, ensures you need to ensure that the enzymes have an optimum temperature range. So there is a certain range in temperature, whether that's 20 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees Celsius. So you need to find a suitable range of the temperature, right? Your teacher knows it. If you can ask your teacher, what is that range? And your teacher will tell you the range is between this and this. Okay, there is the minimum and the maximum temperature. So you need to put that temperature into that range. And the best way to control that temperature is by using greenhouse gases. And nowadays it is called the vertical farming, where we farm we grow crops inside something. It's like a container, right? A house full of blue and red light. If you can go to Google and search vertical farming, okay, I will show you it right here because everything, because we are online, right? I will show you the vertical farming. So vertical farming, there's blue light and red lights, right? So those plants, they they live in an environment where the temperature is controlled by the air conditioner. So they can set the air conditioner to be, let's say, 25 degrees Celsius or 27 degrees Celsius, because maybe research shows that 27 degrees Celsius is suitable for those crops to grow well, right? It increases the rate of photosynthesis. So if 27 degrees Celsius is the correct temperature, they will put those air conditioners to 27 degrees Celsius and it will stay on that level, right? And the temperature will not increase, it will stay the same. So we use greenhouses or tunnels for optimum for optimal enzyme activity. Let's look at the vertical farming. The greenhouse is something like this, right? So it is a dome-like structure. It can be made up of plastic or glass, but but the thing that you have to make sure that the the dome has to be transparent, right? As you can see some of the things inside because it is transparent. It is transparent. It allows the light to pass through and get inside that dome structure. And inside they plant crops or plants, right? Yeah, something like this.